The Veterans Benefits Administration, one of their employees in-house that are doing veterans claims clinics on today. So if you are not quite 100% or at 100%, we have a representative here, Miss Martha. Where's Martha at? Miss Martha here, that at 12 o'clock, she's going to begin to receive you great veterans in the back. So if you are here and you are 100%, however, your battle buddy is not, call your battle buddy and tell them they need to be in the room, okay? Okay, then, okay. And so with that being said, I want to welcome you all here today. I'm here in partnership with the Stephen A. Cohen Center. Miss Selena is here, so you'll hear her voice next, and she can talk about the great things they do here. And then we'll move on with the program.
Good morning, everyone. So, just a little bit about us. We are the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Endeavors. We are a nonprofit. We serve the military community. We see active duty, veterans, and their family members. We also extend that to family members who the service member gets to determine who the family member is, whether that's a neighbor, a boyfriend, girlfriend, caregiver, as long as they're willing to share the military affiliation, whether that's a DD-214 or military ID, we will see services here. We do individuals, couples, families, and we see kids 5 and up. We also do case management. Another great thing about our nonprofit is that we do have a grant program that will pay for services if the service member is unable to pay for their co-payment or if they do not have insurance. We are located in 3 locations in Texas, which is here in Killeen, El Paso, and San Antonio, but we're also located in 24 other states. I have my business cards out here if you guys have any more questions, but I'm so glad to be partnering with Marsha today and being such great community partners and here to serve all of you the best way we can. Just being a veteran, just being able to have these services for y'all is a great thing for everyone.
Thank you, Selena. Thank you. About me, I am Marsha Martin, the founder of You Are Still a Veteran. And my reasoning, my why, what I found out is that most veterans, like all of us, Army Strong, right, or Aim High, or whatever the other models for the other branches are, right? It really doesn't matter to me. But with You Are Still a Veteran, we was founded because what I found is that all veterans aren't served in the community by the nationally known veteran service organizations, and specifically those with negative discharges, right? And so I'm a firm believer that if it's a problem, it's in my lap, I got a solution for it. And so through trials of my own, that's how You're Still a Veteran was birthed, to be a solution to those veterans, for those veterans to transition out of the military with a negative discharge. And so in most cases, some of those veterans are entitled to benefits. However, because of the stigma that, okay, you did something, you did wrong, got out with a negative discharge, you aren't entitled to benefits. But contrary to popular belief, in accordance with the 38 CFR, some are, right? And so I position myself to be that voice. And as a result of that, being a voice and then being trained by the American Legion in 2011 and a former veterans claims agent, I learned the skill of what it means to take care of veterans and give them their VA disability. But it took it to a whole nother level, right? And so that is why we are here. So not only do we assist veterans with getting discharge upgrades, we assist those who are still seeking to get 100%, give them strategies to go in to these CMP exams, to communicate with their doctors what's in the 38 CFR, right? And I was talking to some of my battle buddies who are not here today, like how can we be effective during this Veterans Day? And that's why we have put together, I believe, in my opinion, some of the best that the Veterans Benefits Administration has at the Waco Regional Office to present to you all, to answer many questions that you all might have. in regards to where do we stand as veterans with this current administration? Why and how, and y'all know how we do, we got 50,000 questions, but nobody really to answer those. And so here in the house today, we have those people who will shed light in a place of darkness or uncertainty for you all, okay? And so we're gonna be moving on to our keynote speaker today. It is no other than Mr. Andy Williams. And I'm gonna read from this bio because I have to tell on Mr. Williams a little bit because I kind of asked for this a couple of times and Mr. Williams made sure I got it so I could be ready for the day, right? So Mr. Williams was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he is the father of three beautiful young ladies. After high school graduation, Mr. Williams decided to join the military where he attended basic combat training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. After completion of basic training, he was transferred to Fort Lee, Virginia for AIT, and he became a petroleum supply specialist. His first duty station was here, no other than the Great Place, Fort Hood, Texas. And after that assignment, Mr. Williams served at several different duty locations to include 6 combat tours. After retiring from the Army, he attended Central Texas College and earned an associate's degree in business management. He furthered his education by earning a bachelor's in business management from Texas A&M and graduated with a master's in management and leadership from the same university. With a continued desire to learn, Mr. Williams pursued a doctorate degree in strategic leadership from Liberty University. In 2016, Mr. Williams was elected as a president for Economic and Development Corporation in the city of Nolanville, and he also served as a commissioner on the Planning and Zoning Commission. In 2018, he was elected to serve, and he continues to serve as the mayor for the great city of Nolanville. Mr. Williams has served 4 consecutive terms as mayor, making him the first African American to serve multiple terms as mayor for the city of Nolanville, Texas. He proudly served on the executive board of directors for the Innovation Black Chamber of Commerce as a director of leadership management. Mr. Williams has also served on the Alumni Executive Board of Directors for Texas A&M Central Texas University, and Mr. Williams is a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated, where he continues volunteering in the community by volunteering his time and talent. So you all welcome Mr. Andy Williams.
Good morning. Good morning. I can do better than that. The room full of veterans, y'all pretty loud people. Good morning.
Good morning.
Truly an honor and a pleasure to be here, and thank you for those kind words that I wrote. So if you know anything about me, I like to have fun. I'm a serious person, but I like to have fun. So here throughout this speech, if there's some moments that's not so serious, just tap into it. This morning has truly been an honor. When I first got the call from Ms. Martin to do this, I thought she had the wrong number at first. Because I was thinking, why is she calling me from Nolanville to come to Navy to do this? And then I thought about it, and I was truly honored, because she could have called anybody else. There's some great people that's doing great work in the community, but I'm honored and thankful that she called me to do this. Not only to do this, but I'm thankful that she's organized this great organization. So if we could just please just give her a hand. Now she said she's gonna tell on me. So the real story is I forgot. I was supposed to send everybody on, I forgot. But I got it to her, she did a fantastic job reading, so we're gonna move forward from that. And the second statement that I have is I got new glasses this morning, I just got them, so if I can't see, don't blame it on me, these new glasses I got. All right, so let's go. It's truly an honor to stand before you today, not only as a mayor, not only as someone working within the Department of Veterans Affairs, but as a fellow veteran who has walked many of the same paths as you all have. I'm a combat veteran, and like many of you, my life has been shaped by moments of challenge, sacrifice, and resilience. And those experiences have given me a deep understanding of what it means to continue serving long after the uniform comes off. It was very fine, all the titles that she named off and the degrees that she named off within my bio, but the thing that sticks out to me, and it means the most to me, is every opportunity I had, I was serving, and I continue to serve. I was honored when she called me. And I want to, first of all, recognize the people, many faces in the building this morning. I know we recognize one that's going to be doing this workshop, but there's a couple other veterans, fellow members here today. If you just wave your hand real quick, all the veterans. There we go. I give my hand. One thing that really stood out to me throughout this trying time that we've been going through throughout the government shutdown is these people continue to show up every day. When you look at some of them, weren't even getting paid, but light field was still due. They still had to spend gas going to work in Waco. Everything continued. The pay stopped, but one thing that didn't stop was their commitment to serve. Each and every day they showed up to ensure that the veterans were receiving the benefits that they deserve. And that's very commendable because at any moment they could have said, hey, I'm not doing it anymore. But they continue to show up and serve our community and our veterans. When we first raised our right hand and took the oath, we stepped into a life where service wasn't just something we did, it became a part of who we are. We understood from day one that we belong to something bigger than ourselves. We learned discipline, teamwork, sacrifice, commitment. We experienced moments that tested us mentally, physically, emotionally, some of us more than others. And through it all, we built a bond that's like no other that you ever see in the world. For many of us, memories, those deployments, those long nights, those difficult missions remain with us each and every day. They shape how we see the world. They shape how we show up in our communities. They shape how we continue to serve. And that's what we're here to talk about today. The reality is, veterans never truly stop serving. Our roles simply change. Going to several, remember retirement ceremonies, they always play that song, old soldiers never die, they just fade away. Y'all remember that? Yes. So our roles just change in what we're doing, but we continue to serve. When I first retired from the Army, I was asked the question, what's next? And the reality is, I didn't know. There was a lot of uncertainties, fear, doubt. But one thing about it is, I knew that I wanted to continue to serve in some capacity. I had no idea what the capacity may be. In the longer bio, it'll tell you that I'm a little country boy from Little Rock, Arkansas, that barely graduated high school. Matter of fact, when I graduated high school, I probably owed them some points on my credits. Never really saw success. Never really understood what it meant to be successful. I saw this Army commercial, and I remember seeing, I'm not gonna date myself, but I remember seeing different stuff that was going on in the news. The be all you can be, somebody said in the back, that tank jumped over the hill, I was sold. But one thing is, I knew that I wanted to serve, even from a young age. Didn't even really know exactly what it meant, but I know I wanted to make a difference and help others. And when I joined the military, I really truly understood what that meant. The military is one of the lowest paid organizations that you can be a member of. You get paid more money to defend a football than you do to defend your country. Wow. But it's still something about that organization, there's something about that pride that's instilled in us that makes us show up every day. Service transforms, it doesn't end. When we transition out of the military, whether after 4 years or 30 years, the world sometimes assumes that service is done. But for each of you in the room, know that that's far from the truth. Veterans don't stop serving. We simply learn new missions. We continue to work in different ways. Some of those missions are quiet, some are personal, some are deeply meaningful, even if they don't get recognized by the news on billboards. You see it in the veterans who start coaching youth sports because they want to teach the kids what teamwork really means. You see it in veterans who volunteer at shelters or help with food drives because They remember what it meant to have someone to watch your back. You see it in the veterans who continue to lead in their churches, civic organizations, and workplaces, not because they're looking for recognition, but because service is ingrained in them. It's part of our DNA. And many of you serve in the most powerful way possible, by looking out for other veterans. You check in on your friends who might be struggling. You offer a ride to a VA appointment. You help someone work through a tough plane transition. You listen, you really listen when someone needs it. You listen, you really listen when someone needs it. There are many times that I've found that there's things that I go through in life that I can't just talk to anybody about because they might not understand what I'm going through. But I know that I can call on one of my veteran friends and they can understand exactly where I'm at. And it seems like they always have the right words at the right time to tell me, that encourage me, to tell me that I can go on. I can keep pushing. You got this. And that's that special bond that we talked about earlier within the veterans. And we're still serving. That's a form of serving. I want to inform you today that serving matters and it still saves lives. My role at the VA, and it's a mission that I take very serious. Each and every day, when I go into the office and I open my computer and I look and see what work do I have for the day. And I see that all these claims stacked up. Sometimes, to be honest with you, I might not feel like doing it. But then I think about, on the other side of this computer is a veteran. It's a family depending on me, depending on us, to make the right decisions to ensure that that veteran is receiving the benefits that he or she deserves. Every case. And one thing that I've taken from that, and sometimes we get caught up in our day-to-day work, but one thing that, especially for us, and we in this field, I want you to understand that it's not just paperwork, it's people work. Behind every screen, there's a family there, depending on you. So please remember that. It's always people work and not paperwork. Finding purpose after the uniform. That goes back to the doubt that we sometimes may face. One of the biggest challenges for veterans face is the question, what now? What is my purpose after the uniform? Where do I belong? How do I continue to make a difference? Some veterans struggle with that question quietly. Some struggle loudly. Some don't know how to ask for support because we are trained to be strong, self-reliant, and mission-focused. I can speak for myself. The NCO creed was ingrained into my memory bank on a daily basis. No one is more professional than I. I'm a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. Some of y'all know, some of you don't. Might be officers, I don't know your creed, but whatever it is, it's inserted right there. That's a great place to insert it. But here's what I want everyone here to clearly understand. Your story didn't end when you left active duty. Your mission didn't end. Your values didn't end. Whether you're 25 or 75, there's still purpose in your life. There's still work that you can do. There are still people who need your experience, your insight, your leadership, and your heart. You carry lessons that can guide younger generations, lessons about discipline, about perseverance, about doing the right thing even when no one's watching. You can carry resilience that comes from facing challenges most people will never experience. And you carry a bond with other veterans that become a lifetime or a lifeline for someone who feels lost or alone. Today, we must continue serving together, not alone. Still serving doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. In fact, you shouldn't. The strength of the veteran community always came from unity, from teamwork, from watching each other six. For those of us in the Air Force and in the back. From speaking up when a brother or sister is struggling. From reminding one another that asking for help is not a weakness, it's courage. Whether it's mental health, physical health, navigating VA benefits, finding a new purpose, or simply having someone to talk to, there's no reason to go through it alone. One conversation can make a difference. One check-in can change a life. One act of compassion can keep someone going. The truth is, the military shaped us into um, who, who we are and how we see others. We know how to stay calm under pressure. We know how to lead with integrity. We know how to support with loyalty. And those qualities are exactly what our community and our fellow veterans need today. I'm thankful for organizations just like this one, and we have the VFW, the American Legion, and all these other things, but sometimes people don't really understand what those organizations stand for. It's not just about going out partying, not just about going to the canteen because they have cheaper drinks, or just going to see other people, but this is a place that veterans can come together where we truly understand each other. This is a place that these organizations help children. This is the organization that they might help veterans with claims. These are organizations that help veterans when their families are experiencing different crises, but we're still serving in these different capacities. I would ask if there's any members of the VFW, but I don't want to start a VFW war and I'll start calling out the VFW chaplains and all that stuff. For so many veterans, the VFW becomes the new platoon, the new squad, the new battle buddies, the people who understand the stories about how hard to tell the silence that sometimes even harder to explain. But beyond the emotional support, the VFW is consistently serving throughout our community. The motto could very well be the motto of the entire veteran community: no one fights alone. Most importantly, I want to talk about the next generation. The next generation needs us. There's another mission that often goes unseen, but it's one of the most important: passing on what you know. Young people today need role models who understand commitment. They need mentors who show what respect and discipline looks like. They need examples of people who live with purpose, not excuses. And no one is better equipped to provide that than veterans. You don't need a formal program or title. Your presence, your guidance, your example, it all carries weight. It shapes the next generation in the ways that truly matter. When veterans mentor, communities grow stronger, families grow stronger, the nation grows stronger. Your service still matters, maybe more than you even realize. If there's one message I hope every one of you take home today, it is: you're still serving. You're still needed. You're still part of this mission. You don't have to be in uniform to make a difference. You don't need rank or ribbons to leave a legacy. Your service continues through your leadership, your compassion, your resilience, and your example. The country is a better place because of you. Our communities are stronger because of you. And our fellow veterans and our future veterans depend on you. Your continued presence, wisdom, and strength. And in my closing, I want to say thank you to each of you for your service in uniform and for your service, your continued service that you continue to give each and every single day. Thank you for your sacrifices you made. Thank you for the courage you showed. Thank you for the ways you keep showing up for your families, for your communities, and for one another. It is an honor of my life to stand among you, not as a politician, not as an official, but a fellow veteran who understands the weight that shared oath and the pride that a shared identity. May we continue to serve with purpose. May we continue to lift each other up, and may we never forget that the strength of this nation lives in our hearts, for the men and women who answer the call to serve. Thank you. God bless our veterans, and God bless the United States.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. This is a token of USOF's mind and USOF's appreciation for your time on today. And we just want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, y'all, moving along in the program. Thank you again, Mr. Williams. So, As I said before, we have Ms. Martha here from Veterans Benefits Administration, and she's going to be assisting individuals with the VA disability claim, and it starts now. So if you would like to have her have questions for her, what I would have you to do is follow her to the back. Is in a private area, so everyone won't know your business or what's going on with your specific claim, okay? And with that being said, we will go in for a little break, 10-minute break, so we can transition into the panel discussion, okay? Thank you.
Want some water?
I'm gonna go get a bottle of water.
I get it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anybody has questions, that's what we're here for. They want to discuss the, what they want to talk about. I'm saying, say it. Tyrone. Yes, ma'am.
And my business card, there's someone over there and then that's the other card that has that other number. I'm over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I drove right there. I drove right there. I got
That's just for yes, sir.
Okay, so.
Yes.
Yeah, this is. You can get everything. Triple threat. You too. I just got mad last week and they were in it also. That's what see how they see. Just get I made it take it.
The speakers.
I could take it off, but it was mixed. You're on 190. There's no room for air.
It's too tight, but they wanted to make
Just because they tried to do my job. Because he's the only big man. When I was transitioning out, so he would have to come top off. Him. I got to get this thing, but he was like, You laugh at words, I'm like, I'm a trip. Yeah. I think you're we never go to those members, 5 minutes of the group before we should be on more to end up with it. There's a lot of flying. That's great. Oh, That's when I came. You come make it that is I tried to work like you saw you sit back there, you're fine. Stand up and sit me on. You need to, he said, just sit with you. I said, okay, well, let me see what this position I need to do. So, when I'm back out, it's not, it's just, that's what he told me. He said, just sit. Yeah. The decisions we make, sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith. You have to take that. But I said, all the time, they're still not talking about a lot of big issues. I'm saying a couple of them is real. It is real.
The senior expo last year, last year in Belton. No.
She was struggling on the trip. Oh yes, Tawana. I was raised right in schoolhouse. Yeah, she was Arkansas. She was right there. Yeah, Tawana quick. I didn't even know her first because she was on 19 and she's afraid of things. That was like staff something. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. It just when she talked about I just told her to I never was good, but I
How y'all doing? I hope y'all have a blessed day.
Timothy Parker. Oh, Parker. Parker. Maybe from Chicago. I bet everybody's on my name. Yeah. Yes, I got everybody. I think it was water for you. But you see all the runs in there. Darnell Parker. It's going to be two of us, my son and me. He's there with us. That is me right there. Yes, sir. I said, I'm right below me. Oh, yeah, full of yes, he is. I guarantee you, see so we talk all the time and joke about food and whatnot. Sometimes I get comedian. I was. They enjoyed me and Auntie. They said, I miss my calling. Okay, I got you. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Our office, we have a brick and mortar off the street, right next door to the gun range. Yeah.
He got it when I first came into Tucson because he walked into the street area and he that night and I was on the street. I said, hey. I said, do you want to it was just me with 500 soldiers overnight. So I'm hosting. But he said, you know, I said, the next day, there was a big country. I know all the songs. Do you remember Tony Parker? He just retired. He switched over from Fox when he was E8 and he became contract officer. He became an A contract officer for Daniel Parker. And then, do you remember Rogers' first name? She passed away from cancer. She was in the squad. She was from Cleveland. Her name, Rob Campbell. Yvonne Campbell. Yes, cancer. Cancer. Oh, yes. Leah was like this because I'm from Cleveland. And she was what's going on in New York. She's in but her, was following her entire you know, I love her too. We were huge. I know she was in Germany and Korea many times. Where was you in Germany? Good spot. Good spot. Straight to Grand Island, through Portland. And then when I got there, they said, when I first came in,
She on the piano, the voices of the piano.
I got to the regiment.
Tell her. Hey, just give me 1 second. I'll get you.
She 3 years running out. But I see her.
I'm from Mississippi. Yeah, I'm from Mississippi.
We named the tab. He got you Russell Benny right now. But anyway, he said, he's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Austin was out the A-Tacker here with the drills. Okay. Yeah. You were down there. Felicia right here. With the red shirt. She's back to the 9-2. We won't go there. We matched. Oh, yeah. But anyway, I said, I got these. I said, somebody said, you appearance over appearance of men.
Joy, I don't know, but what you can do is say use my
It was a kitchen. Then he said, I'm going to put you in charge of it. He said, I'm going to make you.
Yeah, because my understanding is true. Because I didn't get clear instructions.
Yes.
2 years.
We don't know how to do it.
And on CAO application.
On my computer.
Before I also certified year, and he was from the States. And when I was in the States, met the CEO on the other side of the dispatcher. They told me, say, hey, I had to take some interpretive across. None of them speak English except
I got some questions.
but when he worked, he said,
They can be sensitive. It's complicated for everybody. And then, sometimes
you know where they sent me, they told me,
especially, you know,
they were serious. It was bad. I was in the middle of trying to have like, and I was like, and they did. I said, you want to do that? Yeah, it's 1 year, and I was he said, hey, make sure you schedule any problem. He said, there won't be any stuff that never happened. I said, no, sir. Because it was such a high business, it's the way it happened. I'll retire. Carson is the city or is the BCT. All the costs that I think we first got in 2004.
I'm gonna be to you period, because it was, I'm gonna do my and then I was
No, it was 2000. 2011. I was reflecting. Right. I was division. So we didn't go to. Yes, they can. I remember. I was in Pastor. The North End. I was at we had. Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, that's our village. 2001, because I left really 2 months. But I ended up I was a speaker in the green zone. We had the SSA. So I was running long at the other side. I buy out every 4 years. Okay. Yes. I was in the Aerosiders were dangerous. It was, we had our people fired in my tank. It would have hit me. We took out, we had 5 tankers. 45, 50 each. Yeah, they had a 4 lead. They had the control. First time I see you, like, other than right. Yeah, I know we're talking about go from front to rear. Just constantly going between the two. You know what Alabama's on the field around 15 viewers. Yeah. Okay, I got you. I'm trying to get you. All right. Right. Yeah, you weren't playing because they were hitting everybody with IEDs. Right here. They kept us in the rear mirror feel like something weird. Maybe we'll run. Okay. She started talking with me. She took the whole day. Kept doing that. I was like, the last time. So the ride was like, they are. And nobody said that because you know they'll leave you and take you wait for a turning away mechanic come and pick up. Back to what I was like, yeah, I agree with you. They got with each other and like right, so I felt like with you like this room. That's I try to ease out of there. So I said, we don't know this about
Okay, guys, 10 minutes are up. 10 minutes are up. It is time for the panel discussion. It is time. We have our subject matter experts here. So don't hold back on the questions, okay, y'all? And inside of your grab bag, your swag bag, there is a pen and a little card where just in case your question does not get answered on today, you can write your question down and I will communicate, I will send it to this team here. It's a card like this inside of your swag bag. It's a card like this. If you need more than one, you can let the ladies, someone in red know and they can hand you another card. However, let's get it. So we're honored to have this panel today of our VA professionals and what I call our subject matter experts. And it's no hold back. Whatever questions you all have, you know, like I said, write it down on the paper, but I'm ready to go. So I got like questions here, y'all. I thought about this long and hard. And you all know that I am in the business of taking care of veterans, right? And so based on the questions that I get concerning VA disability, which I have no answer to, other than when I reach out to one of my inside informants and they end up like, hey, Marsha, la, 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 and this is this. And I tell them la, 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 and this is this. As I get it from them, I share it with my veterans. And so my first question, and either one of y'all, actually, let me pause, introduce yourselves.
Hey, y'all.
I got your mic, so make sure people hear you. We need a mic, and the reason why we need the mic because we have people out in the World Wide Web. We have on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and those who don't have their hearing aids on and dealing with tinnitus, you know, bilateral hearing loss.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, hey. I'm Sid. I'm originally from a little town in East Texas called Lufkin. I did 25 years in the military. I've been working for the VA as a VSR, RVSR for the last 10 years. So, fire questions at will. I want to answer all questions to the best of my ability.
Hey, good morning. My name is Tyrone Williams. I'm from Alabama. I served 26 years in the military. I deployed 3 times to Iraq, and I serve now at the VA. My fellow workers right here. I've been out there for 8 years. So it's good to be here. And, got any questions? I'm here for it.
Hey y'all, my name is Shanda Horne. I'm born and raised out of Waco, Texas. I went to the Army just served for 8 years, did a deployment. Sorry, y'all. But did 8 years in the Army, did a deployment to Afghanistan, and I worked for the VA. I've been there for about 5 years, and, well, 3 years at the hospital and then 5 years at the VA.
Okay, then, okay, so y'all see, we have experience and wisdom here on this panel. So, first question is, many veterans are asking whether the VA benefits will be negatively affected. Okay, the government is back open. So when I wrote this, when I pulled these questions up, we were still closed, right? And so will they be negatively affected by government shutdown or by Project 25? Can you explain what veterans should expect and whether their benefits or claims are at risk?
No, veterans benefits or claims will never be at risk as we know it right now. Government will always take care of veterans based on Abraham Lincoln, what was that? Promise to always take care of the veterans. So you don't have to worry about your benefits being stopped or your claims being, they will slow down because of furlough and other stuff like that, but your claims will get processed and your payments will be paid out to you, veterans.
During this government break shutdown, we continue to work claims, continue to serve veterans throughout. So it's, even though the government shut down, we continue to serve veterans and continue to do claims.
Okay, then. And so with that being said, very often veterans say it seems like the VA didn't listen to anything I submitted. They didn't pay attention to anything. They didn't factor in my evidence. From your experience, why does this happen, and what should veterans understand about how initial decisions are made?
Well, the main thing is that there's 3 requirements in any claim, any kind of claim that you're submitting needs to meet 3 requirements. One is a current diagnosed condition, the other one is an event in service, and the last one, which we typically take care of, is the nexus or the connection between those 2. It's very important that if we don't have the evidence of an event in service, that you provided to us when you submit the claim, or at least tell us where to go get it. We can go look for private records and some federal records. We do get all federal records, but we can do the legwork for you so you don't have to worry about that. But when it comes to claims, making sure that you have evidence of a current diagnosis and an event in service, typically we'll send you for an exam and a medical opinion to find that nexus.
Is there 3 forms you have to fill out for that, or is it all?
No. This is 3 parts to establish service connection for your condition. So to break that down in a simple form, it's just basically when you file a claim for, say, headaches, you have a diagnosis of headaches. Is there an event in service that could attribute to your condition currently? That's what we need. Then we'll go send for a medical opinion to determine if they're related and attribute to each other.
If you're out over a year and you put in for a claim, you gotta have something in your medical records to show that you had there was an event in service. But like she said, a diagnosis, we need a diagnosis. But if something that don't need a diagnosis, something like your body, something in your body like your knee, your ankle, you're mentally capable to know what's wrong with your body, and you can write a statement. You write your own statement, and that's just as important as the SDRs, as your service treatment rates. They can use your statement because the veteran statement, you know exactly what's going on with your body, and you just write what's been going on with your body since you left the service, and it's continuous since you left service. And that way, we can service connect you that way also. And we got 4 different ways that we can service connect you. That's directly, secondary, like if you service connected for something else, you taking medication or something that causes another issue, you can claim that issue secondary to a service connected condition. And they don't have to be in your service record. And we can still service connect you that way. And then if you've been somewhere, we can service connect you presumptively. Like you say you was in Iraq and you got an issue that's a presumptive issue. We don't even need a medical opinion. As long as we can see that you have a diagnosis and you was there, we will service connect you.
And one of the most important things too is if you are seen by an outside provider, like, your private doctor or somebody like that, make sure that you get a copy of that paperwork. If you don't get a copy of that paperwork, make sure when you file a claim that you put, I was seen by Dr. Tyrone, this is his address. We'll go get those records to help support your claim.
Okay, then, so follow-up question to that. I'm hearing have a diagnosis, relink it to your time in service. I'm of the era, you don't go to sick call. Go to sick call, you won't get promoted, you don't get the good assignments, you don't get the good. So what would you recommend to those veterans who don't have the diagnosis, who never went to sick call, but now you're dealing with this thing and they submitted claim after claim after claim and continue to receive the same response, no supporting evidence, or we didn't deem it connected to your time in service. What about that portion of veterans out there? How would you all communicate this to them?
To be honest with you, that's a hard one because everything we do is based off what's in your service treatment records. We see that for veterans of my age and older, we see that all the time. Like, I did a claim not too long ago, Sergeant Major, he had 33 years of service. The only thing he had in his records was he went to airborne school. We service connected him for his knees because of airborne school, but all the other stuff like the back and stuff he was claiming, yeah, we could probably say yes, it was through the airborne school, but there was never one incident to where it was documented like, hey, I had a back problem. Even if it was just going to sick call and say, hey, I had a backache one day. That's all we need. There it is right there. But it's kind of hard when you got the older veterans that was like what I call bell fed and just went, Yes.
What you got?
I've seen some, and again, a lot of those claims like that, but I've also seen some that they were able to take one condition and turn that one condition to 100%. For instance, I seen a claim that as I was doing my background work, I saw that he started off with just his ankles, but he moved from his ankles and went all the way up. Had nothing in his service record, but he fell into the category. He even wrote a statement about different things, but he was able to continue to secondary. So a lot of times, and I see it, people will give up, and different veterans I talk to, older, especially older veterans, they'll just give up. Well, don't give up. It's just about, the whole claim is about connecting the dots.
Yes.
So it might not be directly, yes, you might have had the knee problems in service and you didn't go, but you had the ankles. So instead of saying that it was directly because of your service, now your knees became secondary to your ankle. Now, you didn't have any documentation for your hips. There's about three different on each side of the hip that you can get.
Yeah.
Now your hips hurt, but now because of your hips, your back is hurt. And now because everything below is hurting, now it's causing you mental anxiety. So everything is about connecting the dots when it comes to these claims, especially when you don't have that strong paperwork or paper trail. Because before it was all digital, it was paper. Sometimes your records do get lost. But it's just about how you connect the dots and what you're saying to the doctor about it. Because everything you said, they're going to write it down.
Exactly.
So a lot of times people go in and try to, one thing is you can never go in and try to downplay what you're going through. It makes no sense. If you go in and say, well, it's okay, I guess, but then you expect them to give you the report that you need for your claim, they're going to give you exactly what you said. So just connect the dots.
And I will say this, when you go to the doctor, just say you're going for your migraines. You go to the doctor for your migraines, you walk in and he's like, okay, so how you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling okay. Nothing wrong. How are you feeling today? Hey, can we hurry this up? I feel a migraine coming on. I need to get somewhere dark, quiet. Now he's writing something different, you know what I mean? Right. So that's always go on your worst day. When you go to your VA appointment, you think of your worst day with that condition, and that's what you give them.
Is it better for us to go to the VA doctors, or can we go to our personal family medicine doctors, which is better because
your personal doctor, because they see you more. Right. the
So that's
personal time.
medical continue.
Yes, you can actually print off like you say you want to go for your back. You can go to the website, print off the DBQ for a back, go to your doctor and say, hey, my back is hurting me, I want to file a claim, can you fill this out? And as long as his, what is that number?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as his MPI number shows up in our system, he's good to go, we gotta take that.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what man said, the lay statement, what you say, describing your condition and what happened in service can actually fill in the gaps. Going back to the airborne soldiers and even parachutes, badges, and things of that nature. We understand that sometimes the injuries that are sustained are not documented. So we do look at your MOS, what you actually did in the service, what kind of things you do on deployments. We can see all of that in your records and help bring those things together. So your statement, your battle buddy statement, if you can track them down and get them to write a statement, those are very helpful in us saying, okay, we can see how this happened in service.
It gives us that emotional look because we've all served. So we know what you're going through. So your statement, hey, you know what, I can see that. I'm good to you know what I mean?
And we've been there, done that, where I was in the service as well, and you go to sick call, they look at you as a sick call ranger, they talk about you, put you down, so you know, you don't want to go on sick call, so you never put nothing that's wrong with you in your records. You know, so, and that's why we look at everything, and your statement, because that's a big thing that you don't have to do in your records, because it's just as important as yours, it's just more important as your skill, and that we can certainly make you do what you say.
Going back to your example, our body, we tend to overcompensate, which causes the illness. Is there a way to articulate that in the state?
Yes.
Just
called secondary, like I had right shoulder surgery, but I compensate for my right shoulder using my left shoulder. So now I want to claim my left shoulder, like Mayor Andy said, secondary to my right shoulder. We look at it and be like, you know what, yeah, it's probably kind of, and then you'll pull more with this side. So now we give you your left shoulder with a bilateral, we give your right shoulder with a bilateral factor of your left shoulder. So it raises up a little bit.
Yeah, and I've seen where he had a knee injury and couldn't exercise and caused him to gain weight, and caused him to get sleep apnea.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure, exactly. And secondary to that knee.
Yeah, so we have this time, Ms. Smith.
So taking it from the musculoskeletal side of it, when it's dealing with the mental health side, and the veterans never been to mental health during the military. What's the odds, the ratio when it's missed, that the soldier did everything they were supposed to do, hit the 3 points, and they're still telling them no?
What we do is we will look, what I like to do is I will look at the soldiers' records, and you will 99% of the time, you will see a decline. There will be a decline. Based on what we see in that decline, be like, hey man, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Because he went from, super soldier to, okay, he's a soldier now. You know, what happened? What happened? Then you start looking for like what we call the markers. Like maybe he went on deployment, came back. He went on that deployment, came back, kind of fell off a little bit. Hey, based on STRs, soldier was 5, now he's 3.5. Let's get him a mental eval with a medical opinion. Could this be based on his deployment to Southwest Asia somewhere? And that's how we get him service connected, even if he's never been to mental health through his career. Because we know, like Tyrone and the mayor was saying, we know some of us were super soldiers. We just kind of chewed it and kept going.
And when that's missed?
5.
Okay, Mr. Brown.
So my question is a personal statement better than, like, say, a battle buddy statement, or are they one and the same?
One and the same. I think Mayor.
So also with that, another instance is, me personally, when I was doing my claim, when I was in Kuwait in 2000, the Air Force accidentally dropped a bomb and it killed everybody on the site. We had just left that site 2 minutes prior to the drop of the bomb. We were down the street, we had to turn around and come back and provide support, right? So we were able to find an article online. So I never went to mental health because of that when I was in the military, but I found that article. That was the only thing I had other than my statement. It was a claim that I was working 2 weeks ago, and it was a veteran that said that his mental condition came from one of his battle buddies killed himself. Well, he gave the name of the battle buddy, and I just went and searched and found an obituary. So now this brings it all together. So it's little things like that that can actually bring that, even when you're missing it and you didn't, because most people don't go to, for mental health in their end. But it's little things like that that it can trigger us to, we just need something to put us on the right trail where we can, because our mission is not to deny. Our mission is to, grant if you can, deny if you absolutely must.
Yes. So I asked that question, because I know a veteran. 13 deployments.
I can tell you that alone.
That alone, right there, will give them.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Okay, so there's two parts to when it comes to mental, and you just said 13.
And he was a Marine Corps sniper.
We jump at just one, so it's like that's enough. But also, Marine, what is he saying in that exam? Is it the worst thing ever? Is it, or is he covering up? Because also with that in mind, there's certain diagnoses like PTSD. We have a lot of leeway with PTSD, especially with deployments. If it's for anything that's not PTSD diagnosed at that exam, then we have to find proof of the stressors that they're claiming. But that goes back to what's said in that exam.
I will tell you this, with him being a sniper, next time he goes to an exam, he's talking to that doctor and doctor say, what causes your PTSD? Every time I close my eyes, I see somebody I pull that trigger on. Every time I try to sleep at night, I think about it. I can't even get to sleep half the time because I'm thinking about how I changed somebody else's life. Instead of PTSD, now we're starting to get into depression. Now we're starting to get into anxiety. Now instead of being 50%, now we're closer to 80, 90%. You see what I'm saying? So it's, like we say, it's all about what you write in that statement and all about what you tell that doctor. If you ain't telling that doctor the truth, then it is what it is, basically.
Yes. And another thing with PTSD, it don't have to be in your medical records. As long as you was deployed somewhere and you got a diagnosis, we put those together. Then in your medical, in your exam, they have stresses. And if you need the stresses, we don't even need a medical opinion. We can just search connect.
He did file PTSD, he caused depression and anxiety, and they denied the lower of
And then, like they said, because like I do this, right? But they approve it. It's so important that like all these service members, former service members in this room, one thing that you all have to know is that we were governed by a regulation. No matter what your branch is, AR, FMs, you got a memorandum from your Pacific unit, your job, your MOS, right? Veterans Benefits Administration is governed off of regulation. So if you can prepare to go to a board studying, why would you go to a CMP exam ill prepared, right? Like that's an NCO brain in me, right? So for those of you all who are not 100%, those of you who are still trying to figure it out, or one coming here and need to go back and give information, like they said, you're not a subject matter expert on the 38 CFR, but you can be a Google bandit. Google, what does the 38 CFR say for PTSD, right? Take that information, extract it, communicate, and then guess what? All branches make everything, not all branches, all government agencies make everything so easy to us. They created these things called DBQs. And guess what? the doctors ask the questions on the DBQ at the exam. So we're already positioned to win. However, sometimes we don't want to read, right? So you want somebody to tell you what to say, right? But then you veterans, we can be very hard-headed. We get to these appointments and I'm doing fine, I'm good. And then you come out pissed when you get that denial letter. Right or wrong? Yes, ma'am.
So I will tell you that I was having back pain and knee pain, right? Because I was a combat medic, had to do the 12-mile road marches 4 times a year. I had a fracture in my foot twice, right? And I was treated in the military for it. When I went for my CMP, they said, you have degenerative joint disease, that's arthritis, that's hereditary, that's not the military.
So you claimed it direct.
Yeah.
And they denied it.
Yeah.
So now you want to go back in and say, hey, based on my fracture of my foot, it's starting to deteriorate.
Yeah, because I had to wear a cam walker. Back in those days, they make you wear a cam walker. I wore it on one leg for 6 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, of course, messed up the other leg. So now my sciatica is shifted. So now I got a whole nother issue, but they trying to tell me that's hereditary. You know, like diabetes and high blood pressure, that's all hereditary. That has nothing to do with the military.
The laws have changed.
I know they came up with the PACT Act.
Yes, and that's what changed a lot of stuff for how we service connect veterans. You should go back and talk to Miss Marsha back there. Yes, because all that you are claiming is secondary. But you probably never claimed it secondary. You just claimed it direct. And we get a direct medical opinion that says negative. When we get that secondary, it's least as likely as possible caused by this. So that's a positive for us, and then we service to that.
Also submitting your medical records as well. I'm pretty sure you got a private doctor, you go pretty regularly. So those records, at least telling us where they're at so we can chase them down, we may be able to find another diagnosis.
Even had a CMP doctor when I said my back was hurt and I raised my leg this one. She said, nah, you can do that. And he flipped my leg straight up to prove that I was not in pain.
Now, I will tell you, some doctors are like that, but refile. If you get a doctor like that, you can refile and be like, hey, I don't feel like I got a fair exam, and 0995 it and refile. And you'll get a whole nother doctor.
So let me ask you this, because I'm here for my daughter. That statement that you was talking about, does that require that it has to be notarized?
Nope.
So my buddy did that. So the DD-14, if when you discharge and they give that to you to go home, why is it such a headache to try to get that again? How do you go about to get that DD-14?
You can actually go ahead.
No, I mean, we can track down her records.
Oh, you can do that?
No.
All she got to do is file a claim. We'll pull it over. We'll pull all that. But if she wants, I'm pretty sure they have, you can go to e-benefits, and they have a spot on there where she can pull down for the DD-14.
Okay, so y'all can do all that.
Yes, ma'am, we can do all that. Yes, ma'am.
Only thing we need is for private record, we need approval from her.
Authorization, so yeah, release of
We'll put all her military records. Anything she was seen for in the military, we'll pull that. If she was seen by an outside provider, we need that. Yeah, authorization to release of medical records. Yes, sir, 4142. We get that, and then we'll pull all her medical records from anywhere she's been seen, as long as she puts the address and the name of the doctor.
Okay, then, so moving on to the next question. Thank you all so much. Okay, now this part right here, we played around with it a little bit, writing effective late statements and buddy statements, right? Veterans say, I know what happened, I write it all down, they still deny my claim. So the question is, what makes a strong late statement or buddy statement, and what key components helps the VA clearly understand the impact of the condition? So, like, okay, what are some of the key components?
Key components of a buddy or lay statement is dates. If you can give us a date, we go, usually what we do is we send it to the MMRC, which is the military records people. They'll go 6 months forward and 6 months behind that date. That's how we put it in. Dates, times, names, all that is important to us. If we got all that, 9 times out of 10, we can find it. Because we go to Omar, and Omar has anything with like suicide, bombings, firefights, stuff like that. We have it in Omar. So if they give us good dates, we can find it. Dates, names, locations, even time, if you can remember what time it was.
Okay then, so y'all get that, right? So it's just not, oh, I was here, I did this happened. Be detailed, like you're writing a paper for school. The details matter. And they'll do the hard work, even like Mayor Andy said, he even went as far as to research the individual, found the obituary, bam, that's connected. So we have to give them solid evidence to work with. Understood? Okay. So now we're gonna move on to discharge upgrades and what goes into the latter, right? Many veterans also want to know how to advocate for themselves when pursuing a discharge upgrade. When you recommend a discharge upgrade, what should go into that letter? What elements clearly explain the circumstances, the service, and the growth since that time?
Debbie.
That's all.
It's hard because there's many factors. So typically when it comes to COD, character of discharges and things, by the time it comes to us, we would have looked at different periods of service to see if there's any kind of breaking or not breaking service. So somewhere we can say, okay, this part is good, this part is still not honorable. So then off this part of service, we can actually find what was occurred in that period and work from there. So it's a lot of factors to say, this is what you need to show to upgrade your discharge.
Yeah. And let me say, and I asked this question specifically so the people can hear it, because to hear that exact, like it's a lot of compounded factors that go into it. It's not clear and cut. And that's the key thing I wanted to bring out, that it's multiple layers, it's multiple circumstances. And so I want to ask this, and with those veterans who transition out with negative discharges and they have good time, right? And is it possible that they could be service connected?
Yes. However, for us to service connected, it has to be an accident or an injury that happened while that good period of service. It can't be it can't be doing that bad period of service because we will not honor it. But if it happened like when you first came in, you re-enlisted and you got a knee injury and doing that re-enlistment, you did whatever you did to get chaptered out, we won't honor that knee because it happened during a bad period of service. Anything before that bad period of service, we will honor.
Okay, thank you.
One other thing, if you're going for a COD upgrade, always list facts, circumstances why you were discharged. Because once we get the facts and circumstances, then it's on one of us or a young BSR to be like, hey, let's look at the facts and circumstances. Yeah, we might not pay you compensation for it, but we will give you treatment for it. Sometimes in chapter 17, like, yeah, he went AWOL because his mom was sick and the army wouldn't let him go on leave because he didn't have leave days. I got it. You know what I mean? But we'll treat him. We'll treat him because he is a veteran. We're gonna take care of him. We're just not gonna pay him compensation for it. So, if you know somebody is doing COD upgrade, tell them to go see Coach Marsha, and she'll break it down. Hey, man, I need facts, circumstances on why you did what you did. That way, it's easier for a VSR to be like, yep, we can service connect that, or yeah, we can service connect that and pay him for it because it might have been like one minor infraction, but you might have had that kind of command off first off. You know what I mean? So.
And so I have a question, a follow-up question for that. Okay, is that regulation for you all, or is that at the discretion of the individual VSR?
No, that's by the book.
Okay, I just and I'm being very detailed because people like, oh, okay, then I don't know, like it might sound like the discretion. No, it's regulation. They're not operating outside of what they think, how they feel, or I believe this person should get that. No, this is regulation. So if you know anyone who has gone through this process, whether it's VA, increase for disability or discharge upgrades, and they're not communicating effectively. Because it sounds like that's part of the problem, right? The biggest part of the problem is properly communicating what's in the 38 CFR, properly communicating the circumstances, right? So that is so important. Okay, so moving on. This is good, y'all. This is getting good. But that was my last question. Okay, that was my last question. So the audience, yes, Mr. Williams.
I don't know who this might help, but it took me a long time to get to understand, but I was going to appointment after appointment, and the majority was phone calls and video calls. But I finally said I didn't want that. I wanted a face-to-face.
Yes.
That's where the sympathy and the empathy came.
Correct.
Is when they could see my frustration, they could hear me irritated by why are we begging for what we already learned. So I would tell you, decline those phone interviews and those videos. Go sit in front of somebody, and the point is, make them feel sorry for you.
That's it.
It's effective.
100% fact.
Yeah. And when you in there doing your exams, like Marsha said, do your homework, do your studying, and like say you go in there for headaches, you want to tell them that you have a migraine headache that you can't see in the light, you got to be in the dark. So when you do that, the doctor's gonna put exactly what you say, and then they come to us, and when they say that's how we're gonna give you your percentage, and you get 0% if you don't say that. You just say that you just have headaches periodically or whatever. You may still get service connected, but you'll get 0%. But if you say that you've been having like migraine, prostrating headaches, that you have to go in the dark because you have a problem with light, whatever, you get 50%. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in the percentage that you get from what you say to the doctor.
And one other thing, when you file a claim, you can actually put on your claim, I do not want to be seen by the VA. So we would get you an outside provider. Sometimes, like the young lady was saying here, you go to the VA, them doctors see it every day, and then you're like, yeah, they got a knee problem, 0%. Go see the outside doctors, because a lot of them guys, the VA doctors were all Army doctors. The outside doctors never been in the military, so they ain't seeing something new. So, request, hey, I don't want to be seen at the VA. And get you an outside provider.
I just wanted to add on to what Mr. Williams said and what y'all were saying. So I've been at 100 for quite a while. But one of the important things about going into those appointments is to remember, and I know it's a lot of young soldiers, there is no need to lie or manipulate the system when all of the facts are right there. When you go into those exams, they're right. You have to go in as if it's your worst day. Those CNP examiners are not worried about the fact that you took pain pills that morning to make it through the day, and that's why now you're touching your toes and jumping jacks. None of that matters at that point. You have to tell them and be vulnerable in those moments and tell them, okay, this is what's happening. I wake up in the night swinging at who's ever there. Because in those moments, it's you and those examiners. When you walk out those doors, you go back to your regular life. But if you can't be vulnerable for 5 to 10 minutes to tell them what happened to you during a wartime situation, you're only hurting yourself. So when you get that letter and you just see that sign that says denied, and you get mad, 85% of that burden is on you. Because when you went into that exam, you had the opportunity to open up and be vulnerable with them and tell them, this is what's going on. This is what I'm feeling. This is what life is for me every single day, and I'm tired of it. And then you let it go.
Well said, but just to add to what you're saying about the denial, because that's one of the key things. We have to tell you why. We have to tell you not only why, but what points of that three-prong I mentioned earlier, what points do you actually miss? They're called favorable findings. We tell you exactly what the requirements are, what is needed, what the examiner said in some cases on the exam. We'll tell you right in that decision. If you stop at the first line, you're missing key points on what to do when you come back, what you actually need.
Also, it tells you if you're looking for an increase, it tells you.
What's next?
I tell them the answer is in the writing, guys. The answers, but we don't want to read. We get to deny it, we're done. The answer is in the writing.
With the denial, I'm sorry, sir. One other thing that we didn't mention yet with the denials, if someone is denied, it's very important that they go ahead and put in a intensive file. Right after you get denied, you got a year. And the reason you want to do that is because the effective date matters, because the effective date equals your money. So when you put that effective date in, it's basically a bookmark for that date. That gives you a whole another year to gather information. So when you try to go back, because if you don't do that intensive file, then if you wait a whole another year and put the paperwork together, now if we say, okay, well, yeah, they do have it, then your benefits are going to start at that date. Compared to you could have got a whole year back pay. Right.
We've heard plenty of cases where they were continuously pursued, and we had to go way back.
Back 22, 21.
I just wanted to say that she hit it right on the nail because I think in 1979, combat infantry had my 22 years, right? Yes. But I never knew all the support that you guys did. Like people, I did the whole battle myself. Mm-hmm. So 79, I went to Bosnia, Kosovo, Kuwait, everywhere, right? I mean, 22 years. Finally, in 1992, they diagnosed me with PTSD. So I didn't know what was that, right? So it was on my record. Like you say, that's doctor stuff. You talk to the doctor, you put everything, but the doctor is not the one that's gonna give you the percentage. He's the evaluator. So that's when you gotta do your specification. When you say evaluator, you tell the doctor what hurts and everything. But then because I was in 1992 PTSD, so I didn't get no benefits. Then later on, I keep fighting in 1999. Finally, they gave me 10%. Wow. So I keep on going. I keep fighting by myself because, like I said, a lot of stuff. And finally, the doctor saw me and said, "No, I gotta refer you to somebody else. Send me to psychology." They asked me questions, and they say, "What happened?" I say, "Well, this is what happened." And so my friends didn't go, "No, shoot." They were like, "Okay, do you remember when?" I say, "I got a fake time on my memory, but I can give you names, time, and place." I gave them those. Quickly, they can do it. If you got a date or time or occasion or an event that something happened and you witnessed it or you participated, that's the key right there.
What's the farthest you can go back when somebody's still gonna claim? Is there a limit? 5, 10, 20 years?
It's gonna be based on them ITFs. That's intent to file. I'm sorry, I should say it's intent to file. Like the mayor was saying, if you file a claim today, you get your rating back 6 months from now. If you file that intent to file, and it takes us another year and a half to get your claim rated, you'll go back to today because that intent to file saved that day. You know what I'm saying? So if you continuously pursue, like every time your stuff is denied, every time your stuff is denied, you would attempt to file that day, go again, attempt to file, here we are 4 years later and be like, okay, yes, veteran had it, now we gotta go back. All them attempts to file, and you might get back pay like, I done seen back pay as far as this and up this. Matter of fact, when I worked in NEMA, I was doing back pay for some veterans, and I was actually seeing veterans getting like 1.6 million, $850,000 back pay because they kept doing them intention file, and then when the PAC Act came out, changed everything.
Yeah, back again to that point.
Yes.
Like I said, it was in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, okay, so you got PTSD, so you got mental issues, we're gonna put you mentally stressed out. Mm-hmm. So they start cutting my pay in 2016. Not even went back. That's it.
But did you have intention files in there?
No.
That's it. If you had them intention files to keep hey, I'm gonna keep pursuing this. We took them all the way back to 92.
Amazing. You deny, I'm gonna keep on going.
Yep,
Okay.
I'll keep on going.
Okay, hold on for y'all a minute. I gotta check out my people over here. They're over here typing on the web here. So if you all have questions, because we have our subject matter experts here, if you all have questions, type them in the chat and we're answering those. So we might be a little bit minute, but I guarantee you they will answer. Okay. So yeah, so I'm letting him know. Just wanted to talk to him. Y'all can continue.
I always tell my battle buddies as far as an intensive file, as soon as you say, you know what, I need to file a claim, put in an intensive file that day, because that's gonna save you when you put in the claim and you actually get a grant. Now we can go back a year.
So like, in your case, ma'am, you're helping your daughter, as soon as you get home today, intensify. Intensify.
That's a form of it.
Just go to the benefits.
Is it 0995 22?
Well,
No,
it's
it's
a
not
0966.
21 days.
0966.
Yeah.
But actually, if you go online and start the process to file a claim, it'll actually automatically trigger it. If you, even if you don't finish, like say, oh, I need to go find an address for a provider or add some more stuff to it, it'll save your progress and automatically create that intensive file for you today.
That's why I say go home today. As soon as you get home, log on to your benefits, file a claim. As soon as you click on that button and say file a claim, intent to file in the system. Yep.
And if, like you said, if you get a denial, you'll come back with, you don't have to continue putting contingent files in. That contingent file will hold your spot
for that whole year.
Yeah. And so if you get a denial, as long as within that year of you getting that denial letter, you put in a 0995 to 0995, that's self-billing, right? That's for you denial. Yeah, you disagree with the denial, you want to go back in. As long as you do it within a year, it's called continuous pursuit. And once you do get service connected, as long as you've been continuing pursuing within the year of your denials, it'll go all the way back to your $10,000 for your payment. So you get all that back paid.
So potentially back to the original date of denial.
I cannot hear you.
So it can potentially go back to the original date of denial. So for instance, if, let's just say you get out of the Army or military in 2010. So from 2010, you have 1 year to file a claim, right? Let's say 1 year. Then before that 1 year is out, you put in ITF. So now you got another year. So you put in a claim and you get denied. Now you put in the 0995 because you disagree with the denial, but you put in the intent to file, and then you put in the 0995 and you get denied again. And then that process carry on every other year. Now it's 2020, 2025, whatever it is. And then when they say, oh, yeah, this is service connection, now we have to take that all the way back to the original date. It's called wrap up. It would have been the date after you got out of the military or whenever that original denial would have been for. So that's why it's so important, because that's your money. If you don't, then if you wait, but on day 366, then you start over.
Now, for all you guys who got kids or whatever, or friends that's in the military now, you can tell them, put everything in their records, from head to toe.
And I think the individuals who serve now, they have a different mindset than us.
Yeah.
Like we like ride it out till the wheels fall off. They're like, nah, I rolled in, I'll sick call.
Yeah.
So and rightfully so, because it's easy for them.
And that's true, because I was a first sergeant in the basic training unit before I got out. And the basic training, when I come down for PT, we have like a whole tune of people who sit call. Basic training.
The goal is not retirement anymore.
The goal is VA disability. Yes.
So I just, two things. Sometimes when you go on the internet, it'll say that the website is down for maintenance. When you're trying to file that intent to file, pick up the phone, call that 800 number, 1-800-827-1000. Tell them you want to do a verbal intent to file.
800, what is it?
1-827-1000.
827-1000, okay.
Verbal intent to file.
Secondly, on the part about the back pay, the VA takes care of what they're supposed to take care of. I will say that. Vietnam veteran had been filing since 2010, consistently since 2010, and kept getting shut down. When the PACT Act hit, he was still filing. At that time, he was suffering from 3 different types of cancer. He finally got his in 2024. They back paid him all the way to 2010 to cover for all of that time.
Yeah, so that's good. So with that being said, no questions on the social media world. So we're gonna close it up, right? So I thank you all, my panel members here. I am better equipped to do what it is that I do as a representative for veterans. And I hope that you all have received something today, either to go back to your battle buddies or yourselves to implement in your claim. And just because you're 100%, just because you're 100% and you still dealing with stuff that you're not service connected for, what do you all recommend for those individuals?
I recommend if you are 100%, you get treated for the VA. You get treated by the VA. If it's something that you're not service connected for, don't go in there bothering the VA. At 100%, you got the max you're gonna get from the VA. So once you get 100%, go get treatment and go home. Don't file no claim, don't do nothing, because you get to file a claim, they'll be like, oh, we didn't see this. Yeah. Now you go from 100 to about 30. You know what I mean? So don't, once you get 100, the VA gonna treat you regardless. So proposal to reduce. You don't know. Once you get 100%, you're good. Just get your 100%. Hey, my knee hurt. Go to the VA hospital, get you some Motrin, go on to the house.
But if you come get diagnosed with something that kids like diabetes or something, go get it.
Go get it.
You know what I'm saying?
We get that service connected.
You want to get that service connected because if something happened to you, you want your family to be made.
So just a really quick question. Ingram versus Collins. How is that so that the veterans will know how it affects them? Because a lot of them are getting calls from those C&P examiners, third-party places telling them, hey, we need you to come back in. A lot of them are scared saying, no, I'm at 100, I'm not going back in there. How is that affecting them?
The Ingram versus Collins decision was just recently announced, I believe back in September.
Yes.
And basically we consider medications, I'm not gonna butcher the word because they do use a fancy word in it, but we do consider what medications do to alleviate the pain. And if medications, say for instance, you go to a CMP exam, you just took some medication or you typically do take medication, the examiner is gonna ask you more questions to figure out what is your severity without medication and with medication. Now, we get that information and we go by the highest severity.
It won't change your percentage.
It won't, it just changes how it makes it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's training also is coming with the sleep apnea.
Oh, yes.
So now they're gonna be looking at how well do you react if you use a CPAP machine. So where people were saying that, hey, it's automatically 50%, well, it might not be once this new change is implemented.
Yeah, so on October 29th, Senator Tomberly, I think from New York, he said he's gonna do away with all those ceiling, hernia, tinnitus, PTSD. He said anything that is curable. He said, unless you are in treatment, you're gonna get paid. If you're not in treatment, you won't get paid. Because what's true?
That's not true. Wait a minute. That is not true.
As of today.
As of today, that's not true. The young man who went into Congress and said that PTSD is curable. You remember that? It's part curable. That's why I asked about the Project 25 because I'm not reading it, but like around there between 467 and 469, go read it. Y'all better read that. because a lot of things concerning us is in there embedded in it, concerning veterans. And so we have one last question, then we're gonna wrap it up, and I have to present you all with your gifts and stuff like that. Yes, ma'am.
Question is that, are you all referring to the 100% as the 100%? What about the 100% unemployability? There's a difference between the unemployability and the 100%.
It is.
Okay, 100% unemployability. If you have unemployability, that means you can't make over the minimum threshold. Anything over the minimum threshold, they'll take your unemployability. If you're 100% permanent total, no IU included, you can go get a job working for anybody. Yes, ma'am.
Well, in order for you to be IU, you have to have at least 7% overall, and with at least one with 4%, or you have one with at least 60%.
So I can get it raised up to that 100%.
Yeah, you'll get the 100%, and you'll get the chapter 35 and everything. It'll be just like you're 100%, but only thing you can't work when you're
Right, and that's my issue now, that I can't work because I am unemployability. So now I gotta go back in and file for it. I heard you say, don't touch it when you're 100%. So I am 100% because I am unemployability, but I don't want that because I can't work no more.
Well, you actually, with unemployability, you can work, but you just can't go over that threshold, whatever threshold is.
Not enough.
And I think it's like 15.
Yeah, like 15. No, it's like for the year, it's like $24,000. You go over $24,000, then they consider you no longer as unemployed.
They'll take your
That
benefits
100%,
away from you.
down whatever you were before.
If you work the second year, now if you work for a year and it stopped and then you go back to work.
Yes, that's what.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, so it is always a workaround, but what I would highly recommend you to do is connect with someone before you submit that claim to make sure that you go in with a plan, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's going in with a plan, be strategic about how you walk into VA, because you will not go in to go buy a car
Right.
or a house, maybe a car, yeah, some people do that. But a house, you're strategic about what you do, right? And I would suggest, highly recommend that when you all are dealing with the Veterans Benefits Administration, go in with a plan. Don't go in because they need something to work with. The first thing is a diagnosis. Let's start there. A diagnosis, right? And go in not depending on them to find the information, you submit it to them. Because it's not just us they're dealing with, right? They're not just getting Texas claims, they're getting other states, and in some cases, international as well, because we're international as well. So with that being said, we're gonna transition to our award portion of this.
Hey, Coach,
So,
I got one more comment.
yes, sir.
Hey, if y'all know anybody that wants to file a claim or need help filing a claim, go see Coach Marsha. Go see Coach Marsha. She will have you squared away.
Thank you.
All right.
And if you can take a picture there, let's connect. And if y'all wanna donate to the organization, because y'all know we're a nonprofit, and we need funds to help our veterans out here in these Texas streets, okay? Okay. Okay, and so here is a gift, a token from us here at USAID. Thank you. Okay, then we have another gift for you all as well.
And of course, Marsha deserves one of our CDA coins.
Okay then, and so, okay, and I'd like to take this time to thank my sponsors. I have quite a few, y'all. I have quite a few sponsors here. First, I want to thank Walmart. Walmart was gracious enough to provide all of the beverages and the pastries for us on this morning. Then, Black Rifle Coffee, Starbucks, Oculus.